Hello there, and welcome to Pursuit 365's Talk Tuesday, Sex and Relationship Health with your host, me, Jette. I just want to say that today's episode 2, is sponsored by Luscious Lips. Luscious lip oil that will not leave you sticky. Comes in 5 colors infused with 5 different fruit flavors to keep your lips smooth and soft. Luscious Lip Oil on lusciouslove.ca. Anyways, my first guest today is one of my very good friends, my confidant, co-worker, and a beautiful woman who has been in a beautiful relationship with her partner of over 25 years, Jodey Johnson. Jodey is in accounting and is getting back into crocheting sexy lingerie again. I chose Jodey as one of my first guests because every time that she talks candid about her partner, all I hear is a beautiful love story between two beautiful people who, even after 25 years, still keep it fresh. Welcome, Jodey.
Hi, Jeanette. Hi, everybody. Excited to meet everybody and do this podcast today. And yeah, I've been with my partner for over 25 years. It's been a great relationship. We've had our ups and downs, but in the end, I'll be honest, sex and laughing, talking, and communicating with each other has been our key core to our relationship.
So, after 25 years, Jodey, like what is it exactly that you do to keep it all fresh?
Well, you got to always still remember you fell in love with this guy. So, sex, everybody rates sex. It's overrated. It's like, oh, if you're not having sex every night, this and that. But when you first get together, you're having sex all the time. It's always in the bathroom, in the corner, here, there, everywhere. But as your
Oh my.
relationship goes on, people fall into routine of now you just go to work, you do your 8 hours, you get home, you make
Yeah.
supper. If you have kids, you deal with that and you lose thinking about each other or those moments where you're telling your girlfriend or wife she's beautiful, or you're as a wife or girlfriend telling him, you're the sexiest guy I've ever met.
Oh,
A strong point in our relationship is the sexual part because it's not just sexually, physically, it's emotionally too. I can look at Ricky and want to have sex 10 times over, but yet give him a hug and feel the same way as if we just had the best sex ever. You've got to keep that spark alive. I know life kind of takes time away from us and we do just get in routine and move on. But if you lose the sex, you lose a lot. Because when you first initially meet, the reason most people are attracted is a sexual reason. It's not, I spent a
right.
day with this girl, she's smart. It's no, that girl's hot, or that guy's, I'm going to hit on him. He's good looking. So when you initially meet, everybody's, oh, sex isn't a big thing in a relationship. Absolutely, it is because it's the thing that starts your relationship in the beginning. Then
Right.
the mind and getting to know each other and the emotional part, attachment that comes. But in 25 years, I have just as good sex that I did the first day we got together. We don't let that
Aw.
die. We do different things. And, there's toys, there's outfits, you got to be creative. And both sides in a relationship, men and
Yeah.
women, you got to really respect and talk to each other. Be honest if you're not happy in your sex life. Say, hey, I wouldn't
Yeah.
mind trying this or that. If you don't talk to each other, you don't know. And it's like a fire. If you don't gas a fire, it dies. And then
Right.
everybody blames it on, oh, he wouldn't do this, he wouldn't do that. But I'm a firm believer when it comes to the sexual part of a relationship, it's a 50-50 partnership. And if you ain't got it, you're going to run into issues. Everybody wants to feel loved. Everybody wants to feel sexy. In a marriage, everybody wants to feel like whether you're the man or the woman, you're the one and there's nobody else out there.
Right.
Honesty,
Right.
huge. You
Yeah.
can say, yeah, sex was good. If sex isn't good with us, I tell them, I've had better. And that's okay with us. That's our
Yeah.
relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if I don't tell them, I don't want my sex life to be like that for the rest of my life either. We're going back to the fun, do little things. And there's so many things you can do. Like, When it comes to a man, they forget sometimes, like one of the favorite things that ever Ricky has done for me is we watched The Notebook. Everybody knows The
Aw.
Notebook. It's a huge love story.
Yeah.
We enjoyed it together. And it's funny, even watching that movie together, we didn't have sex, but we had intimate. You're sitting, you're cuddling, you're loving, you're watching this movie. It brings back memories of when you really fell in love with each other too. Simple movie, date night.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay money. Like go have a nap Saturday. That's your date night. You're not having sex, but you still have that intimate connection and you need that. That's where sex all
Yeah.
comes into play. It's not like, hey, let's just go run in the bedroom and have sex. If that was my
Yeah.
life, I don't think I would like sex anymore. I wanna feel like you
Right.
want me before I go in there, not just, "Hey, here's a piece of meat for a wolf. Let's take it and run." Like, no.
Yeah.
I wanna feel
Yeah.
love, I feel sexy. If I don't, I tell them. A lot of people, I'm a outspoken person.
Yeah.
I'll say it. I don't care what other people think because you know what? Nobody can stop me from saying honest opinions or feelings. And in this
Right.
world, sex is, like I said, overrated. People are afraid to talk about it. You're
Yeah.
afraid to say something to your partner. You're afraid to
Yeah.
mention something because you don't want your partner to get mad. Think you're interested in going out and cheating and that. Start your relationship with a solid base and be honest when it comes to sexual encounters or intimacy. Intimacy is the biggest thing. Everybody forgets about that. And it's, yeah, there's people that have been together for 25 years and they still have sex, but it's like, yeah, we do it once a
Yeah.
month. You don't want to,
Man.
I
Yeah.
don't want to do that. I want to be 80 and still be like, that's my man. I'm taking him home. I'm doing my
Aw.
thing.
Oh my
Getting the
goodness.
kisses on the cheeks, being the one walking down the street at 80 holding my husband or boyfriend, whatever at the time's hand.
Yeah.
People forget about that. We live in a political world and everybody lets evil in and they just need to start being honest talking about sexuality, how they feel.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's not a bad, dirty thing. If people want to perceive it that way, they need
Yeah.
to open their minds into what's reality, what's
Yeah.
honesty, what is a partnership. If you haven't got that and you judge everything, you're not gonna you got one life and you're not gonna have a happy one.
No, no. You touched on something there that I just wanted to bring up, and that is being open and honest, and like even asking for sex in a relationship. Like in mine, I had a really hard time like doing that. I felt like shameful for even asking. So, what can you share would be like with others who are listening, just some advice on how to open up that communication within the relationship?
Do you know what? There's an old saying, if you're not happy within yourself, you'll never make anybody else happy.
Right.
The thing you need to do within yourself and your relationship is be honest and be okay with whatever the results are. If I
Yeah.
tomorrow said to Ricky, I think our sex life sucks now,
Yeah.
if it's not something we can work out, then we need to move on and we got to be okay with that. You don't want to live your life being ashamed of who you are or being embarrassed sexually of what you want, or that isn't the life that we were brought into this world to live. Honesty, talking, laughing, those are key factors. And if you can't be honest about your relationship, or
Right.
then that's not the guy you want to be with. I hate to
Yeah.
say, you might think you're madly in love with this guy, but I
Yeah.
honestly, in mine and Ricky's relationship, it's a 50-50. I know
Yeah.
that if he goes 4 days without sex, he's going to get a little miserable. I know that it's because he's
Oh
missing me.
no
He
way.
wants me, but he's not
Yeah.
going to beg me because in
Yeah.
a relationship, that's where connection, honesty. Ah, you know what? I know that after 4 days, I gotta give some, or it's a
Right.
break, but that's the guy that
That's
I know
amazing.
him as. That's what I fell in love with, and, there's always a reason you fall in love with somebody,
Yeah.
and you weren't like that when you fell in love with them, so you have to look within yourself and say, "What changed to make it be this way? Was it
Yeah.
me? Was it him? Did we fall out of love? Maybe that connection's not there," but what the first thing you need to do in a marriage is be honest and bring the connection back. It was
Yeah.
there. There was a reason that connection was there. I'm not saying that every time it's going to work out. Some guys, they're at the point, nope, they've moved on. They're doing their thing. They're
Yeah.
banging other women. And that's not the guy you want to be with, anyways.
No.
Like I know people that have been married for 27 years and the guy all of a sudden goes and cheats. Well, you go and
Right.
cheat and you don't just destroy that woman and you don't think about her going forward because her self esteem, everything about her, she's got to rebuild up. But you have a whole family that
Yeah.
gets a domino effect out of that. When
Right.
in the beginning, you could have just went home to your wife. Yeah, you were at the bar, you seen some girl, you thought she did a hot lap dance or something. Ask your wife
Yeah.
to do it. You know,
Right.
that's the openness in a relationship. That's the intimacy. That's what brings it together, like
Yeah.
the funny stuff, like one day Magic Mike on TV. Oh, Ricky. Oh, you like
Yeah.
Magic Mike? No, what I liked is we were out camping 2 months later. He had had a couple drinks and he was acting like Mr. Mike.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like things you could take ideas, you can take things from movies, do scenarios in that. There's nothing that wouldn't make a relationship work sexually if you're both meeting 50%. There's nothing that
Right.
wouldn't make a relationship work if mentally and emotionally you're there
Yeah.
50%. You've got it all. You got to be honest. You got to be honest with
Yeah.
yourself. If you don't like to give blowjobs, be honest. Don't do it in the beginning and sink the
Yeah.
guy and he's right in love with it and then think 6 months later, nah, I got him. Well, no, you don't
Yeah.
start a relationship. That falls on both of you. You can't start a relationship with all this wild sex and everything and then it just go, because that's both
No.
of you failing right there. That was more of a good
Yeah.
time. That's not love. That's not relationship. You didn't even respect each other at the end of the
No.
day. And with women
No.
inside themselves, I know it's hard. I've met a lot of people that have been cheated on or this or that in my family, in my whatever. And it's
Yeah.
like, that's when you can't change what happened. But as a woman, empower yourself, go
Yeah.
forward, move forward. Because you know what? That wasn't the guy for you. And there is a
No.
guy out there or a girl out there for everybody. But
Yeah.
it's within ourselves and our reactions to how we act and how we treat each other. Like, there's a million men out there. I fell in
Yeah.
love with Ricky for a reason. There's lots of
Yeah.
reasons. He's funny. He stepped up to the plate. He has no kids. He came in with me with 2 kids. He's
Yeah.
just as sexual. He's just as open with me, like if I
Yeah.
did something he didn't like, he'd be like, "Nah, don't do that again. That didn't turn me on." Which I don't take it as offense. That's where women and men, you can't take offense. It causes resent. And then the sexuality, the sexual part, all of that's gone because you're just like, that goof didn't like that, or he faked, or she
Yeah.
faked coming, or just be
Yeah.
honest with each other. Honesty gets you so much further in life, and it gets you
Yeah.
25 years with one guy that I don't care if there's a million out there. He's the only one I look at that way, feel that way about, get sexual about. So whatever we've done it right. But the biggest thing is we've just been honest with each other and met halfway.
Yeah.
We don't let our feelings get hurt. You got to be able to take some feedback without taking it negatively. You
Yeah.
take it and you're like, okay, I did this. He didn't really like it. Well, next time I'll try this instead.
Yeah.
You take the negative and turn it to a positive. Sexually,
Yeah.
mentally, physically, you'll get there. I mean, I like I said, sex is just as good as the first day we got together. And it's not just physical, it's
No.
emotional, it's that connection. And trust me, like we haven't had the perfect relationship. We've had our
Yeah.
ups and downs, but that was where when you have your downs, when you're there for each other, the sexual intimacy, everything connects even more. It never stops. It just keeps building
Right.
and building and building. Most people think, oh, you get to a certain level. No, every day there's things that annoy me that I didn't know about them, but I love them even more every day too.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Hey, Jody, I want to circle back and touch back on something that you and I were talking about earlier, and something that you've just said too about, finding that, initial relationship and building trust and everything else. I know for some people, the first thing, when two people meet is maybe physical attraction, and maybe they jump, in the bed too quick, and then things just don't seem to work after that. But when you met your partner it wasn't like that. It was a little bit different. Did you just want to touch a little bit on, how you guys initially met?
It's kind of cute with us. Like, yeah, I seen him. I thought he was good looking or whatever. But when we
Yeah.
first initially met, I was actually friends with his mother first.
Mm.
And it's kind of an ironic story. I haven't told a lot of people this, but sitting in his mom's kitchen one day, there was a picture sitting there. And I'm not a girl to do this, but seeing this guy in a picture, he was hot as hell. I was like, I'm gonna tap this stuff. One of those
Oh my
sexual from
goodness.
a picture. But when
Yeah.
I first met him, he was more of a guy that came around and wanted to take my son to play hockey, wanted to do things with me and my kids, and that's originally how our relationship started.
Nice.
And then,
So like a friendship.
it
Like
was
it
a
was more like a
friendship.
friendship. Yeah. Yeah. So that's
Friendship
key.
all the way. He was hot
Yeah.
as hell, I'm not gonna lie, so
Yeah.
there was benefits to that friendship. But
Yeah.
I think the key kicker that, there was a couple things that had happened, but the one day I'll never forget this, wearing a brown pair of suede shorts and a white tank top. And
Yeah.
within myself, I wasn't a girl to chase guys. I don't know why. I'm not trying to be conceited. I just didn't. But
Yeah.
for some reason, there was something about him that started where I wanted to get to know him, not sexually. I liked this guy. He
Yeah.
had a good personality and yeah, he was good looking, but it was more my kids too. Like I had two kids
Right.
from two different dads.
Yeah.
And when that happens, you start thinking, yeah, people judge you. I was judged from
Yeah.
day one when I had kids. I had a kid when I was 17 years old in high school, preemie
Yeah.
that people thought had passed away. Like, but this guy stepped up to the plate. He came in. And that day I was wearing those shorts and tank top. I'll never forget. I walked out of my townhouse that me and my kids lived in at the time. And I seen him from afar and I was like, there he is. So I go walking over to talk to him and I bent over to pick something up. Can't remember what it was, but he actually made a comment about, you don't have to flash your tits to everybody.
Oh my
And it was
God.
like, I, but emotionally, and you talk about all of that sexually, right
Yeah.
there is kind of like I knew in my head, he's my guy. He's that
Aw.
smart ass guy. He's the one that wants to protect my body. My dad
Yeah.
growing up was always you leave curiosity to the mind. You don't walk
Right.
around with nipple covers and a
Yeah.
bikini
Yeah.
bottom.
Yeah.
And when Ricky said that to me, it made me think a lot of the way my dad raised me. And I was like, you know what? He's the
Right.
kind of guy that he likes the package, but it's his package. It's not everybody's. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yeah.
from there, yeah, no, I mean, he was buff. He was, it
Yeah.
was
Oh
good,
my.
So
Yeah. That's
that
awesome.
moment is when really honestly between the sexual tension, the emotional connection, the friendship, that was the one moment that even myself I was like, I want this guy, this is worth
Right.
fighting for. But the
Aw.
thing is I didn't have to fight. It was, he's funny too. That's a big thing with a guy. Like I see a lot of relationships where the guy is just so conservative, so
Yeah.
I couldn't have it. Like I
No.
like, there's times where Ricky, he sounds like an arrogant prick would tell us on the phone or something, but I'm
Yeah.
like, that's the guy I want. That's the guy that's going to stand up. He's not going to
You
let
found your
people take
partner.
advantage of us, rip
Yeah.
money off us, not give us what we deserve. He's the
Yeah.
guy. And you know what? If one of my friends thinks, oh, he's ignorant on the phone, you know
Yeah.
what? I know tomorrow, today, every minute that I've ever been with that guy, he has got my back 100%, and I got
Yeah.
his. So, you know,
Aw.
if I
It's a
want
beautiful love
sex 10
story.
times a day, he'll
Yeah.
do it. It might not be good the 10th time because it might,
Yeah.
but he's all
Aw.
for it. And I mean, I'm a big believer that sex, people say sex isn't a big thing, but it is a huge thing in a
Right.
relationship, a huge thing. If I'm not
Yeah.
sexually satisfied, I'm not happy. He
No.
ain't happy because if I ain't happy, he ain't happy. If he ain't happy, I ain't happy. So,
Yeah.
you know what? Be free with your body, be open, be honest, and try different things. You'd be surprised at what you
Yeah.
actually like in the end.
Wow. Amazing. I love that. Like, it just sounds like you two meant to be together. And yeah, even after 25 years, wow. Like, it's amazing. It's amazing how you guys are still like that. So along the along the ways, before you used to crochet sexy lingerie. And you and I
Oh,
have been
yes.
talking about this, and I think it would be awesome to add some luscious lingerie to the luscious brand. So, tell me more. And how does your partner feel about this?
This part I love. Anything to
Yeah,
do with crocheting sexy stuff or doing sexy things for Ricky, he's all for it. All
yeah,
for it. The thing is, too, when you do things like that, it opens up your sexuality with each other, but you also
right.
get ideas given to you from your partner. So, I'm a woman. I think as a woman. I don't think as what a man thinks is sexy or different things that men like or whatever. So,
Yeah,
I appreciate that one, he's all for it.
yeah.
Two, he gives me ideas on things. Like I might come up with a great idea and he puts the cherry on the cake for it. It's like,
Aw,
oh, I didn't think about that. Like
yeah.
people aren't open about their sex lives or using
No,
toys or
nope.
outfits or whatever. But do you ever think once, like crocheted outfits? People, they
Yeah,
love them when they see them, but you never think,
pretty.
one day tomorrow when my husband comes home, I'm going to get off work a half hour early. I'm going to be at home. I'm going to have my lingerie bikini on and I'm going to be cooking him supper. You have sparked your man the minute he walks through the door. When you give like that, you get in return. You really do,
Right.
because men thrive off that. Men thrive at wanted to be wanted. But you know what? You manipulate the game back is you want the same thing too.
Yeah.
And if you can't have it, you're not going to be happy in the end. I'll be honest, like
No.
I'm a sexual person. If he wasn't sexual, wouldn't be with him.
Yeah.
If I wanted tomorrow to start a line of dildos or whatever, if my
Yeah.
partner wasn't going to stand by me, so many
Yeah.
relationships, jealousy is a huge thing. Control is a huge thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Why, why in life should I ever have an idea? Say like the dildos. I'm going to start my line of dildos tomorrow. Why do
Yeah.
I care? First of all, if people judge me,
Yeah.
I don't care. Because you know
No.
what? I'm an open, honest person. I give what I get. You get what
Yeah.
you give. And this is who I am. I'm actually happy that I can be open and honest. I'm happy that my partner's open and honest. I'm happy that tomorrow, if I come home and say, hey, every man likes to check out porn, but most
Yeah.
people get in fights or they go to the strip
Yeah.
joint. You know what? I don't give a
Jealousy.
shit if Ricky goes to the strip joint. As long as he
Yeah.
brings his ass home to me and he ain't touching, all
Yeah.
it is a visual for him. I
Yeah.
can't say that as a human, I walk down the street, if I see a good looking guy, I don't look. We're
Yeah.
human. It's human reaction. Men and women look. The more you are
Yeah.
more accepting of things like that, the
Yeah.
better your life is. I don't give a shit if people are having sex on TV.
No.
It doesn't let me intimidate. I'm a strong person. I believe good in bed. I'm good at the things I do. I know I am. So if I have to be intimidated by a TV, first I
Yeah.
need to look at myself as a woman. One,
Yeah.
why am I intimidated? Two, is it because of the guy I'm with? Well, then you need to open up and be honest with yourself as, you know what? Maybe you like the porn and it's not him and you want to watch porn. It
Yeah.
should be okay. It's the same as watching a
Yeah.
movie with a hot chick flick.
Yeah. It's
Who
just, yeah.
cares? Instead of a negative thing or turning it against each other or trying to use it as a thing to piss each other off, come
Yeah.
together. Make a
So,
compromise. Even if one does like it, one doesn't, you can compromise on what you do with it.
like, what I'm picking up too is like, even with yourself, Jody, is like, yeah, you're absolutely right. It comes down to jealousy, control, but like, you have this immense amount of, self confidence. In yourself, like you are sure in who you are sure in your relationship. Have you always been this way, or is it something that you've had to work on, like to get there? Like, I'm just listening in awe right now at, at the confidence you exude. So I'm just, kind of curious. Yeah. Have you always been this way, or what kind of tricks, I
You
guess, that you
know,
could
I
give to others to get this confidence?
be completely honest, I do take after my dad. I am
Yeah.
strong-headed. I will defend myself, but I've also, God doesn't give us what we can't handle. So many people
Yeah.
out there complain about the little things. I was 16 when I got pregnant, 17, had a baby under 2 pounds with a
Yeah.
deadbeat dad.
Yeah.
I think being young and doing the right thing when I was younger, which I'm very proud of myself at 17. I look back and I gave up my life for my kids. I don't regret it for a second, but I
Yeah.
wasn't the one to, oh, mom, babysit my kids. I want to go out with my friends this weekend. No, I stayed by my kids 110%. I almost lost both of my kids. The experiences and the turmoils I've went through in relationships has
Yeah.
made me who I am today. Meeting Ricky has made me who I am today because
Yeah.
there was a time where you're in a bad relationship. I was that young kid. He was grade 11. I was grade 9. They called him Golden Toe, his last name, because he was the
Yeah.
quarterback of the football team. Biggest mistake of my life. Biggest mistake.
Yeah.
I always swore when I raised my kids, like, I'm being honest with them. I'm telling them what life is really about. So I
Yeah.
guess having kids too was like, no, there was things before that I come from a Catholic family. You don't
Yeah.
talk about it. It stays
Yeah.
behind
Yeah.
closed doors.
Yeah.
With my kids, my biggest wish for them was don't have a teenage pregnancy. Don't believe the first time somebody tells you I love you. Don't. I lived it. I went through it and I had to choose at times. And between my kids and Ricky
Yeah.
really was the guy to let me be me, so
Mm.
between realizing in life, there's things that have happened in my life that even within my own parents, there was an honesty and it came out and I
Mhm.
learned quick. I was like, the one thing in life you need is honesty, communication, and a
Right.
good personality.
Yeah.
Ricky can be a dick, but he can be the funniest guy ever, which makes up
Yeah.
for the dick days.
Yeah.
But I
We're
have
not all
bitch
perfect.
days.
Yeah.
We all
Yeah.
have our bad
Yeah.
days, our good
Absolutely.
days, or whatever. But
Yeah.
honestly, I give who I am today with my kids, Ricky, and just life experiences. Like, Ricky
Yeah.
doesn't come from a solid white picket fence family. So the turmoils and trials that we've both had to go through,
Yeah.
I've always had him beside me. And you know what? It's always been because of communication, honesty, and being able to laugh at the hard times too.
Right.
So, the end of the day, I am who I am today based on my dad, my kids, and Ricky, and the
Aw.
turmoils I've went through in life.
Yeah. That's
I've
beautiful.
given my heart to a lot of
Yeah.
people, and in return, I feel like sometimes I get shit on, and that's
Yeah.
okay. Like I've accepted that. The first time it happened, I was hurt. Now I'm like, nah,
Resilient.
I've been in an abusive relationship, the father of
Yeah.
my son, and it's like, I learned, I'm worthy, I'm worth something. No guy
Yeah.
on the face of this earth or any relationship, whether it's friendship or whatever, should I make them feel they have the right to control me, power me, make me feel
Yeah.
like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
No, I know I have a good heart. I know I'm a good person. I know that did my best with my kids. I'm happy at the
Absolutely.
person who I became. I still every day there's things that happen that you kind of shake your head and you're okay, well, you know what? It's not my life. It's not my story to deal with. It's not
Yeah.
as long as I'm happy, my kids are healthy, Ricky and I are going strong. I have my
Yeah.
family. End of the day, that's what matters. Money, items, all that shit doesn't matter in the end. So for all you
No.
guys out there in a relationship you're unsure about now, you need to open up, open your heart, especially women, be able to speak, be honest,
Yeah.
be able to leave if you're in a situation where life isn't good and it's not right. Get the hell
Yeah.
out. You know what? At 16, getting pregnant, 17, I didn't have a job. I hadn't graduated education. If I can do it and I can make it to where I am today, any of you guys can do it. I had fat lips. I had to go through all that shit. But I'm telling
Yeah.
you right now, I didn't have $1 million family that could pay my way or just pave the road for me or make it all better. And you know
Yeah.
what? I'm glad that I didn't. I had a family of support and everything, but I wouldn't be the person I am today. I wouldn't
I know.
respect and love the little things that matter so much if I didn't go through what I did in life. And the
Yeah,
one thing I was always honest about was if I'm not happy sexually, if I'm not happy mentally, move on. Close the
yeah,
door and move on because you're
that's
wasting your life.
amazing.
And we got one life, guys.
I
One life.
know.
Enjoy
So
it. Have as
short.
much sex as you want. Smile, laugh, hug
Yes,
each other.
yes.
For all
Thank
the political
you.
shit out there, people becoming positive and uniting together and being able to speak to each other without being judged or
Yeah,
broken down. We can
that's the
defeat
goal,
all the
right?
negativity out there, like
Yeah,
we're put on this earth to love, just like a dog, but we're also put on this earth to go sometime. Make it the best life you live. Cause one,
yeah,
I would hate to be 60 and be like, I wish when I was 30, I got with someone
yeah,
who loved me, who respected me, who look at your life and make choices. Don't regret them. I mean, I've made
yeah.
choices in my life that I thought I would regret. And where I'm at today, I don't regret one choice I've made in my life. I would do it
That's
all the exact
beautiful.
same again.
I love that.
Yeah.
I really love that, Jody. And I am so grateful and thankful that, that you were able to share your story. I think it's important that, we as women or as people, I know there's men and, you know, that would love to speak out too, but just to be able to
Yeah.
tell the story so then we can hear, hey, I'm not alone. Or
No.
hey, that's some really great advice. Maybe I should try that on that, like through all your experiences, what is the one piece of advice that you can give to someone, um, for being in a beautiful, healthy relationship?
Talk, say how you feel, but at
Yeah,
the same point, listen. Listen to what they're saying. Listen. It's a partnership. It's never a
right.
one-way street, and none of us are perfect. I've done my things in life that I'm pretty sure Ricky never appreciated, whether it's something I said or through dirty clothes or whatever. But you know
Yeah,
what? You pick and choose your battles.
right.
A lot of battles people pick are stupid. They
Yeah,
really are. They're petty. No. If you're laughing, you're communicating, you're honest, you have 100% great sex life.
right.
100%. If you don't communicate, you start to distance. The heart
Yeah,
starts to feel different with both of them. It's not just women, it's men too. You start to feel empty. You feel like you're not wanted. You feel like you're not beautiful. You
yeah,
feel those are all things that we can control in life. Can we control taxes? No, but we can control our own lives. We can control the love we have between each other. We control who we are as a person. Who
yeah,
you need to be as a person is who you are. Be honest,
yeah.
speak up. It's not embarrassing. It's not dirty. It's not rude to talk about sex. We all
Right.
do it. Animals do it. Like
Yes.
you've got to be it's what we're put on the
Open.
face of this earth to do. And if
Yeah,
we're not going to be able to speak as people, how do you expect children to grow up in this world? Our kids are, I don't want my daughter ending up with some jackass in life because I didn't warn her about stuff. I didn't let her
right.
be honest as a child. My
Yeah,
daughter is probably one of the most outspoken younger women I know in my
love it.
life. And
Yeah,
I
love
look
it.
at her and I'm like, "Oh my god, mini me." But, oh
Yeah.
my god, she's not gonna get beat up. She's gonna
No.
be happy. She's gonna get what she wants out of life. It's okay
Yeah,
to say, you know, "I'm 22. I got my shit together. I got good credit. I
yeah,
want a guy that has the same things." It's okay
yeah,
to be honest that way. You don't have
yeah,
to say, "Oh, this guy doesn't have a job, but he's cute." You gotta look for what you want in life, and you look at the big picture when you're looking
yeah,
sexually, financially, everything. Because I have been in a situation where I was set good and financially I took care of somebody. It
yeah,
wasn't love. It was this guy was a freeloader,
yeah,
so be
yeah,
honest. Be honest. And women, I find, I'm not trying to be stereotyped or anything. Once a woman's self esteem or confidence is hit,
yeah.
it takes them a long time to come back.
It
But you know
does.
what? Mike
Yeah.
Tyson at his age is coming back. So ladies,
Oh my
come back. Be
goodness, that is
honest. Talk.
hilarious.
Be
Yeah.
honest. Tyson's went through hell. He's still
Oh my
standing. He's still
gosh.
making money. We can all
Yeah.
speak. We have the freedom of speech and nobody can take that away. As long as we use it and we're honest with our partners, our kids, life is giving us everything we deserve and need.
Yeah. That is amazing, Jody. That is amazing. So I have a little game that I want to play with my guests, and it's called Never Have I Ever. So I'm just going to say something random, and you tell me. Hang on one moment. Getting over a cold here. Anyways, and you tell me whether or not you have or not. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Never have I ever used flavored condoms.
I so have lots of flavors.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I honestly didn't
I
even know
like
that they came
grape.
in flavors. Oh man, this is going to be
But
awesome. I've
also
got
on
so much
that,
to learn.
the one thing I can say
Yeah.
never I have done is
Yeah.
had a threesome, and my relationship is still awesome after 25 years. So don't ever,
Ah,
women, let a man make you feel like you need another woman to
no.
supplement your relationship. You
Oh
only need
man,
each other. Big point I
that's
wanted
great.
to say, because a lot of men
Yeah.
bring up threesomes. You
Yeah.
don't need them. You don't need them. You
Ah.
don't. If you want them, go for
Yeah.
it. All the more power to you. Be as open
Yeah.
and as free as you want. But women, if you're not into it, don't feel it, don't do it. Don't
I
do
like
it
that,
because there's
Jody.
men out there over
Yeah.
25 years. We have never had a threesome, and our sex life
Yeah.
is still as great as the first day we had it.
I love that. That's some really good advice to give as well. Um, Anyways, I want to thank you so much for being my very first interviewee. Um, as always, it was such a pleasure having you today, and for just sharing, being open, being honest, and I really want to thank you for that. And I want to thank everybody out there for listening. And I do want you to stay tuned for a sneak peek on some luscious lingerie by Jody. So, looking forward to seeing some of your work, Jody. I want you all to be sure to subscribe below, and you can also visit me on Instagram, lusciouslove.ca. And I want you to stay tuned for my next episode where I have another beautiful soul. Her name is Mandy, and she is no stranger to talk about her amazing marriage. So, thank you all very much and have a beautiful day.
Remember, communicate. Love you guys. Take care.